Good morning, boys. How are we doing? And welcome to the Supporters Show. We're here on Tuesday and Thursdays in and around 5:30. Hope you're doing well. So listen, I'm not a relationship counsellor, but I sometimes think that when I talk about relationships and bringing your awareness to your relationship, that sometimes it can have a really positive effect on improving your relationship with your wife. So one of the things I want us to be aware of is sometimes the ripple effects of the actions that we take. So what that means is if we are having a bad day, if we're not feeling 100% up here or emotionally here, that can be felt right across the household. The ripple effects are huge, and I know this through my own personal experience, because whenever I get into that state, I tend to be very short, very quick to blame others, and I probably never used to be very nice to be around. Okay, haven't been like that for a long time. And one of the reasons I started understanding and realising this was because the ripple effects of that mood, that state of mind, used to put my partner on eggshells. You know, when you stand on an eggshells, you're not sure whether to approach, you're not sure what to say. And then I would get cross because I was like, why aren't you supporting me enough? Why aren't you asking me if I'm all right? And actually it's because, you know, they don't know what the reaction's going to be. You know, what James are we going to get today, so to speak? And that is quite a few years ago. But it's important to recognise those actions and the way that you're being have consequences, okay, with your partner. Now, over a period of time, there's only so much your partner's going to take before they start to realise, you know, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. And I've been doing this job for a long time now, 3-4 years maybe, with guys. And I've met many guys who are going through divorce, separation, for that exact reason. The drinking, the aggression, the short-temperedness, the loss of identity, the constant complaining, the constant attitude of, it's everyone else but me. And eventually, it's going to end up leaving you, right? And I think the reason I thought about doing this video this morning is because I've been working really hard on myself recently, on my insecurities and my vulnerabilities and the moods that I have, and being really cautious about not to fall into the dead zone, into that trench. You know, sometimes when we're walking around, it can be a minefield that we end up falling into a trench that then creates this rabbit hole of emotions that then trigger an automatic response or feeling for them, and it's not fair. So I want you to be very conscious throughout the day and at different varied periods of your life, when you can feel that you're not in a great mood or you can feel that things are not happening, to, number one, be super honest and clear and open with your partner. And one of the things that we have as a rule now, let me just get over this thigh. One of the things that we have is a rule, so it works both ways. When Jem's not feeling great, we talk about it. When I'm not feeling great, we talk about it. And it's almost like a verbal brain dump, because we just are able to, in a controlled fashion, without snapping at people, be able to have that communication where we can say, I'm just not feeling great today. This is kind of like what's triggering me. I really don't know how I've got to this stage. And we talk it through, and it tends to feel a lot better. And it does feel a lot better. And I think if we can have that communication and we can build that communication, it really strengthens our relationship, rather than being a nuclear bomb and letting the waves completely disrupt and decimate our relationships with the people we love the most. So communication is super, super important. Number 2, self-awareness is super, super important, making sure that we're really aware of what's going on. And the third thing I would advise you to do is grab a journal. And the journal could be anything from just personal thoughts, or when things are getting tough, you writing them down, making a point of doing this because what you're doing is increasing your self-awareness and acknowledging some of the things that are happening. So it's okay to feel insecure. It's okay to feel vulnerable. It's okay to not feel 100%. But when you're writing these things down, what you can tend to see are ways and triggers that create those emotions. And like, Jesse! And over a period of time, you start to understand yourself a lot better. And I think once you've done this for a while, you can always go back to that book and that journal and kind of reflect on it. And all of this is really a really important sort of structure or practice to bring you much closer to your partner, to having a better understanding of it. It doesn't mean you can keep doing it all the time. The idea is to get better. Okay, so whenever we feel in it, we try and channel it, we understand it, we process it, we move on, we communicate, rather than being the guy that no one wants to be around. And it's the same with the kids, right? We don't want to take that emotions and those problems and start being visually like unapproachable to our kids. And I think you'll find, and I found personally, and it's worked for a lot of the guys that I work with in the mastermind and on 28 days, you become much closer to your partner. And being attentive to her needs and more aware of the situation, rather than just being this head down in the trenches, nuclear explosion, everyone's getting the shrapnel. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know if it resonates. I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts. I think part of this community is really engaging. Don't be in here and not engage. Engage is part of the process, you know, something that you can do until you come and do the 28 days or one of the other coaching programs. But you might as well be engaged and share some of your experiences and if this resonates and if you're going to implement it.